We march on closer and closer to Invicta FC 22 this Saturday night, live on UFC Fight Pass, and I'm now pleased to be joined by the bully, Amber Brown. She returns to Invicta FC, returns to the atomweight division. Amber, it's always exciting to see you on the card, but exciting to have you back in a weight class where you did very well against Ayaka Hamasaki. What was the decision like to move back to 105 after the Ashley Yoder fight?
I sat on it for a while. At first, I didn't really want to move back down to 105. I wanted to stay at 115, but I felt pretty small for 115. So I kind of was like, should I try to gain some muscle or just suck it up and do the weight cut? And I feel like 105, I felt better at that weight class. I feel a lot stronger and faster at that weight class, so I feel like it's where I should be.
Yeah, I mean, it's exciting to have you at 105 because when you look at the division, I think the top three fighters at 105, granted, both of the number 2 and number 3 have already fought Ayaka, being you and Jin Yu Fry, but the division is a good division. It needs top shelf talent to continue to really be an option and show that there's a future there. And both you and Jin did very well against Ayaka. You lasted a long time with her, and you showed off a variety of your skills in that fight. And Jin Yu, she lost due to the cut from the punch. But I feel like having you guys there right behind the champion is just as important as the champion themselves, because it sets up that hierarchy and really has the division going forward. And while I understand that the UFC has a 115-pound division, and for mainstream success, a lot of people have to fight in the UFC, or they do not realize the monetary rewards to a certain extent. But to have you at 105, I think it's almost a selfless decision, I think, because you're keeping that division relevant. I hope I'm making enough.
You are, and honestly, it wasn't all about the UFC. I felt like I cut a lot of weight for 105, sure. But since I have decided to stay there, I've been doing just being smarter about it and the weight cut in general throughout the camp, and just making sure I do all the right things to make sure that the weight cut isn't hard, because the cut for Ayaka was a little hard, having the Shino fight like just weeks prior to that. So I think I wish it was a better weight cut when I fought Ayaka, but I did put up a good fight. So yeah, I'm glad I'm staying at 105. Yeah, the division needs to grow and flourish, and there's a lot of good girls at 105. So.
No doubt. Your opponent is no slouch. Ashley Cummins returns to Invicta FC. It's been a couple years since we've seen her. She moves down to 105. And, I was talking to her a little bit earlier, and I asked her, her nickname, Amber Brown, is the bully. She likes to bully people. And, she said very plainly she's not going to bully me. What do you think of her words there? Because when you fight the fight that you want to, you do bully people. You impose your will.
Yeah, I know she's going to be a tough fighter. I already know kind of what she's going to bring. She's going to try to get me to the mat. I don't want to get taken down, but I am not scared to go to the mat. Right. So I just plan on keeping moving, whether it's on the ground, on the feet. I got to keep moving. I can never stay in one place. If I do, then she'll have her way with me, But as long as I'm moving and doing what I want to do, then I'm going to bully her.
Now, we call you the bully. We talk about you imposing your will, but we've seen you inside the cage show a tremendous amount of heart. The Ashley Yoder fight, you were in an armbar for a very long time. You were in an armbar for a long time with Ayaka. Tell me about those situations. What's going through your mind? Because obviously the pain has to be tremendous. Your limb is being hyperextended the wrong way, but you don't give up until the very last moment. What goes through your mind when you're in those situations, and when you ultimately get free? What allows you to be so headstrong during those times to get free?
Losing is a learning experience. It sucks at that time, so I don't know. I just try not to get too discouraged, and I'm just like, okay, I need to get back in the gym and work on what I need to work on. So I actually just watched the Yoder fight the other day. She was a really big girl, and she already had my arm isolated, so it was pretty much either like get TKO'd or armbarred, because she was kind of like right there throwing those hammer fists. So if I didn't move, they would have stopped it, and the only way I could move is giving her my arm. So it's like, what do you do? So.
And you also had success early in the Yoder fight as well. It wasn't like you got blown out of the water.
Yeah.
It was just she's very tough, and she's back in the UFC because of that win. So Yeah, I know. I mean, it's never good to lose, but I think there are certain opponents where, yeah, it's just she was better on that night, and it's not really indicative of you being a poor talent by any means. And again, a top shelf talent you are at 105 pounds. You take on Ashley Cummins this Saturday night. I always love checking in with you because fighting is a family experience for you. Talk about your daughter and the example that you set for her. You've had a couple tough losses, and I remember Casey Layden shot a great video with you. And the relationship that you have with your daughter, you guys cry together and talk and talk about the triumphs and defeats. What's it been like being that role model for your daughter here after these last couple fights?
It's awesome. You see, I almost kind of get emotional just thinking about it, but it's cool. We're in the gym together every day. She's growing as a little fighter herself, so it's awesome to see her flourish, as a little human being. So it's like, if I don't stay strong and keep going and look towards my goals, what kind of example am I setting for her? So.
Yeah, I think people don't understand the value of fueling your fire with a family member like that, and let alone someone that you created and brought into this world. It's a unique experience unlike anything else. And while you have to sort of be this role model, it's so much more motivation. Like you're providing motivation for her, but she's providing the best motivation for yourself.
Definitely, yeah, I agree. Like anytime I get like a little discouraged or not want to do whatever, I just think of her, and she gives me a lot of motivation that I need.
So it is Ashley Cummins versus my guest here, Amber Brown, Saturday nights. I think a lot of divisions in Invicta are wide open. 105 is one of them. Ayaka Hamasaki is moving up to 115 on Saturday night. This fight, in a lot of ways, sort of dictates what the future is going to be, for a contender, either for Ayaka or if that belt is ever vacated. What sort of statement do you need against Ashley Cummins on Saturday night to let the world know that you are still one of the top, one or two factors when it comes to 105 pounds?
I need to go out there and make a crazy statement. I've been working extra hard. This is the best shape I've been in my life by far. So and coming off of 2 losses, I want to get back in the winning column. So I'm going to go out there and make a statement devastatingly. So
we'll see it on Saturday night live on UFC Fight Pass. Amber, appreciate the time, and best of luck against Miss Cummins.
Thank you, TJ.
Atomweights will take center stage on UFC Fight Pass on Saturday evening as the bully Amber Brown takes on my guest, Ashley Cummins, joining us here in Kansas City. It's been a little while since we've seen you inside the Invicta FC cage. Welcome back.
Thank you. Yeah, it's been, I think, 2 years.
What's it been like? I know you got the Bellator fight out of the way in between that time. How much have you grown as a fighter since we last saw you in the cage?
Oh, man, I'm a completely different person now. The past 2 years since I've been with Invicta, haven't taken any time off. Been in the gym every day since then, and I'm with a new gym now that I've been with for almost 2 years, and I've grown so much the past 2 years, especially with this new gym I'm at.
Yeah, I think a lot of people obviously realize the difference between a new gym, but they don't understand, like, not only training does it make a difference, but just the overall feel of being around different personalities. Sometimes it can change your personality, even your fight personality. Do you feel that your personality and who you are as a person has changed at all with a new team?
I think with this new team, I'm also more confident going into my fights. The training is the best I've ever had in 10 years in the sport. I wish I would have started at this gym from the beginning. And I'm also at a new weight, so I think that also helps with my confidence going into this fight because I feel a lot stronger and faster at the lower weight.
Now let's talk about the weight. I mean, moving down to 105 pounds, you have the opportunity to make a big splash, taking on a former title challenger in Amber Brown, who had a valiant effort against Ayaka Hamasaki last year. But, I mean, this is a fight. I know that Brown is coming off a loss to Ashley Yoder at 115, but a win over Amber Brown, I mean, I can't think of a better way for you to, launch the second run here at Invicta. Do you feel that if you get this win, it puts you right in contention for potentially a title fight?
I mean, yeah, Amber's one of the top 105ers with Invicta. When against her is huge. Put my name out there in the 105-pound division, but I honestly feel at 105, no one can beat me at this weight. I think I'm one of the top 105ers in the world, and this Saturday I'm going to prove that.
When the name Amber Brown came across the desk, the phone line, the email, whatever way it got to you, what were your initial thoughts on that name? An established former title challenger.
I honestly didn't know anything about her at the time. I'm so busy with work and training, I don't really follow women's MMA or MMA in general that much. But I just said yes right away to the opportunity to come back to Invicta.
I think in a roundabout way, because some people might think, oh, it's weird. You're a main factor, a player in this sport, and maybe you don't watch it all the time. That's actually a lot more common than some people think, and to a certain extent, I think it can actually be almost beneficial. Some people allow the stature of a fighter to sort of get in their head, and it makes them. I mean, it's always important to respect your opponent, but sometimes you put them on a pedestal above yourself, and that's not okay when you're competing against those people. Do you think it's good that you aren't, basically eating up every piece of MMA news and getting caught up in just the daily grind of MMA, and that it's still something that you do, but it's different. It's not like fandom for you.
Yeah, I mean, that's always been a huge part of, my training. When I have a fight coming up, I don't study my opponent, especially this training camp. I haven't watched any video on Amber. My coaches did that for me. They told me, what to look out for, her strengths and her weaknesses. We came up with a game plan, and I didn't have to sit behind the computer and look her up and look at video and get stressed. I just had them do it for me. I have a great coaching staff behind me, and that's what they've done for me in my last 3 fights. And it's a lot of less stress off my shoulders, not having to worry about studying my opponent.
So you're all for a game plan, but one that your coach makes for you. You're not the one that's taking down notes and doing the scouting.
Yes, I am 100% confident in my coaching staff. I let them do all that for me.
And I think the most sort of underrated and overlooked thing about a team and a coaching staff is not only the game plan that they put together in the gym, but the game plan that they call upon and make adjustments to over the course of a 15-minute fight. Do you feel that your corner is the right group of people to sort of take notes and make those adjustments? Should this be a pretty tough fight?
Absolutely. I mean, in the past, with past teams I've had, I wasn't 100%, confident in my coaching staff, and I finally am with a gym where I am, and I know that they're behind me, and, they're going to, call out the right instructions during the fight, and I have a great game plan behind me, and I'm very confident with me and my team that I'm going to have my hand raised at the end of this fight.
When you look at Amber Brown, her nickname is the Bully. I don't even know if you're aware of that nickname. She likes to bully her opponents. What do you think her style is going to be like against yours? I mean, have they sort of forewarned you what she's going to try to bring to the cage and how she's going to try to bring it?
Yeah, I mean, obviously she's tough. She fights for Invicta. Anyone that fights for Invicta is tough. But I'm a very well-rounded fighter, and I'm tough as well. And no one bullies me in the cage. No one bullied me at 115 pounds, and no one's going to bully me at 105 pounds. A
very confident Ashley Cummins joining us here as we give you all access to Invicta FC 22 this Saturday night on UFC Fight Pass. In closing here, you mentioned you're working a lot. You're still a police officer?
Yes, I'm still a police officer in St. Louis.
What is that like? I mean, that is interesting times in these, in this country, especially in that region of this country. How is it waking up every day and going in and protecting and serving?
I mean, I love my job of being a police officer. A lot of people say, would you ever give it up and just train full time, even if you made the big bucks in MMA? And I say no. I love going into work every day and trying to make a difference and make, St. Louis safer. So I love my police career and I love my MMA career, and I love how I'm able to do both.
Are you able to get a core group of friends and family out to this fight from St. Louis?
Yeah, I sold over 40 tickets, so there's going to be a lot of Smashley fans.
That's
in
great.
The stands, yeah.
I love it. Excited to see it happen. Of course, Saturday night, Scottish Rite Temple. If you're in the area, tickets are available through Ticketfly. And, of course, you can watch it live and free on UFC Fight Pass. Ashley, appreciate the time, and best of luck on Saturday.
Thank you. I appreciate it.